Hi, my name is Jos Smolders, and this is Thursday Afternoon Talks, a series of weekly discussions I have with Frans de Waard about an album, an artist, a label, a genre, or another something musical. This time we discuss Efrain Rozas' album Still, to be released in March 2023 by Futura Resistenza. Let's start. Frans, today we discuss Still, an album by Efrain Rozas, released by Futura Resistenza, a label that is based in both Brussels and Rotterdam. Well, it's not released yet, but we got already a taster.
Well, I have the album.
You have the album, yeah, of course, for review. And we were, at least I was interested in looking into that release more closely, because it's not only music, but Rozas also has written a sort of essay that accompanies the music. And I was intrigued by what he was trying to say, and I always am interested in music that is has a thought behind it, and I want to know what the thought is, etc. But anyway, so I started listening to the music, and then I started reading while listening, and then confusion arose. What was your experience when you listened to the music, and did you read the text?
Usually we do these things for a couple of weeks now. And usually I have already written some kind of review about what we're doing, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
In this case, I have the record for about a week now. I played it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I have not yet written a review because I was thinking, I am sure I am missing a few points here. So, and when you said, okay, we can talk about this record,
yeah,
I thought, oh, this is good. Maybe Jos is more
as a more clear idea about
more not a clear idea, more or different idea.
Yeah.
Because the music, and so if I do a review, sometimes I will just listen to the music first and then dive into the information. Sometimes I will look at the information and then listen to the music. And so
yeah.
there's no fixed way of doing this sort of thing.
But it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not often that the accompanying text is this long, right?
No.
Mostly it's just a blurb.
Also, it's interesting that on the press text that comes with the record, it's only the first paragraph.
Right.
So I read that and I thought, okay, so what's being said here? Yeah. Have you noticed that Western music emphasizes linear time? But I was thinking, so who is you in this context? Is that me as a listener, or is that somebody else? I don't know. Melody is a continuous sequence of sounds, harmony, and rhythm, follow a progression from beginning through climax and resolution. Is it possible to have an art that's based on nonlinear time? Can we experience nonlinear time? So that's all. That's the summarization of the whole text. This is what it boils down to.
Right.
And then that's some information about Efrain Rozas. But then I listened to the record, thinking, okay, so one side is and also this is interesting to know. This piece is made. The recording is a live stereo room recording, as was presented over 3 1-hour viewings.
Yeah.
I don't think the record is an hour in total. The two sides are different. So the first side is more of a drone piece, and the second side is how would you describe the second side?
Well, the first piece people have the viewers have been able to listen to a part of it, but it gives a clear indication of what the rest of the piece is. It's a drone piece of 22 minutes, I believe, and then the second side B of the album is actually the opposite of a drone. It's a sort of pulse, clearly recorded in a live, in a space. So the reverberation of the space and is audible, and you can hear sounds in the background a bit, and I believe I can hear a car sometimes passing by outside. And the pulses are quite wide apart from each other. So they're we will listen to it. Let's listen to it first. Listen to a part of that side B.
So what I noticed here is that it's not really linear. It's the intervals are not the same.
No. Right? Exactly.
So maybe that's an explanation of his linear time thing that he has in his text. How about? I was thinking. So how do these two sides relate to what people have heard in that space in New York City? Is it so? Do you hear the first side and then there's a bit of silence, and then the second side starts, and then the third side starts again? Because the two sides don't add up to 1 hour. Or is it because it's quadraphonic? Does it play on one or on a stereo side the drones from side A, and on the other side?
I am, of course, I wasn't there, so I couldn't tell you. And the liner notes also only refer to a live performance that is recorded, but not what the live recording actually was. But I could imagine that the one follows the other.
It makes a bit of an odd piece then, I guess.
Of course, yeah. And it's clearly, I mean, when we look at, there's clearly an intention. The fact that the side A has a drone-like character, and the side B obviously isn't that at all. Means something, and we must assume that this audio presentation has a clear relation to the text that he wrote in his essay.
Yeah, let's talk about the text.
Yeah, I was a bit confused about the text. To me, it's read a bit like a manifesto. And like what you said, it starts with the question, let me look it up because I haven't learned it by heart. Have you noticed that Western music emphasizes linear time? Melody is a linear sequence of sounds. Harmony and rhythm follow the Greek theater structure, beginning, climax, resolution. Western music is a pedagogy of linear time. I mean, I don't even know what that means. This is not the case of West African music, for example, where time is understood more as a series of juxtaposed cycles. Indian music has the same approach. Western music
that's your Indian remarks, not in the text, eh?
No. That's my. Perhaps we should skip that. Western music is a pedagogy of a Western way of being in the world. But is it possible to have an art that is based on non-linear time? Can we even experience non-linear time? Maybe an art can give us some clues. And the text goes on for 3 pages. And I mean, the whole world of philosophy is entered into the arena, and in the end, Rozas comes to the term of silence. Let's start with the most basic element of music, silence. And from silence, he goes to still, which is the title of the album. And the difference between silence and still is, of course, that still, he defines still more. Stillness precedes silence. Stillness is a synesthetic state prior to the division of the senses. In stillness, space and time also come together in a contemplation of existence. Okay.
You are a man of Zen meditation, right?
Yeah, I practiced Zen meditation for a decade or so. And so I can see where he's come to, but I find the road from the start to this finish is a bit. I don't really understand how this relates to linear or non-linear music. That he isn't convincing to me in that respect, and I also don't see how the music on the record is the music on the record an example of non-linear music? Is it an example of how music should be?
Maybe his idea of stillness is non-linear music. Isn't that what he's maybe saying? I have no idea.
No.
Much of the text goes way over my head.
Yeah.
I think there's some repetition in there that for me is not necessary. So, like philosophy class in university, that was different. I understood that more than I understood this text. I don't get it. I have no idea what he wants.
No.
And also, like you say, I don't see the relation to the music.
No.
It's very very hard for me to get my
So,
head around it.
yeah.
I like the music. You know, I like drum music.
I like side B more than side A, by the way.
Yeah, side
you
B,
like side A more than B, I guess.
Yeah. So side B for me doesn't do that much. But also on vinyl, I must say, also if you look at the sound file, and of course you did, you notice that there's no complete silence. It's a recording from a space, so there's always
exactly. Yeah, and I think that's
on the record there's an additional layer of
the
vinyl
absolutely.
crackles, so there's interesting.
Oh yeah, that's also yeah.
There's it's not the type of music you would put on a piece of vinyl, I would say, but you know.
Yeah. Especially on side B, you have that issue, of course.
Yeah.
So I think that if the text was not accompanying the vinyl, the music, what would be your judgment
of the music? I would say probably I don't understand why these two sides are so vastly different.
Yeah.
Because also if this text wasn't there, there would be no other context. That would be very difficult to relate those two together.
Yeah.
Even more than it is now.
Yeah.
I would say, oh yeah, like we just said, I would like the first side better than the second side, and reverse for you.
Yeah.
So I would think, oh, this is an interesting piece of music. Not bad, not really good. Okay, sort of drum music.
Yeah.
And I would say, well, I rather prefer another drum piece for side B. So, interesting question would be: would the label? This is also something I always think about. Would the label release a record like this if there was no text like this?
Yeah. Well,
we don't know.
We can't answer that question.
A lot of records from this label come with explanatory liner notes like this, like not like this, but sometimes more telling, what the content. There's a bunch of records of reissues of old stuff.
Yeah.
So there's more historical context given there. I wrote a text for a record by Das Ding, based on an interview I had with Danny Boston from Das Ding. So it's not always this philosophical.
No. Well, Rozas released 2 years ago. He released an album through the same label.
Yeah.
And well, there you also can see that the liner notes that accompany the release, people can still look it up on Bandcamp. Rozas is quite involved with the social position of music and culture, and of the the political position of music in society. And this one is more Zen-like, I think, indeed. And the other one is called I Enjoy the World. Is the liner notes say is the second installment of the Myth and Prosthesis series, a reflection on the relationship between body, mind, reality, technology, politics, and culture. So that gives a clear indication of what keeps what plays in his mind. I think that the same still counts for what he did on this record, but with a different angle. Yeah,
and not very fulfilling.
No.
End result.
No.
What?
Yeah. Shall we keep it at this?
Yes. I will invite you to write a review for Vital Weekly.
Okay, will do.
And I will write about the other new record.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. See you, Frans.
Okay, bye.
You can also listen to Thursday Afternoon Talks through Spotify and Apple Podcasts.